Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you from my back porch. It is Monday, June the 6th, as I'm recording this. What are you drinking? What are you smoking? Well, this here, ladies and gentlemen, is an Esteban Carrera Chupacabra. Alright, little Chupacabra. And this is actually the 10th anniversary. There's the ring that came on the bottom of it. So you got the 10th anniversary. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Well, that was the little ring that came at the end of it. But yeah, there you go. Little 10th anniversary Chupacabra Esteban Cabrera. So I like Chupas. Chupas are one of my favorite cigars. Esteban Carrera. They make good stuff. So there you go. So that's what you smoking. What are you drinking? Now this is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So all right. So first of all, this is made by True Anomaly. It's a craft brewery in Houston, in East Downtown. We call it Edo here in Houston. It's actually the guys that own it. So it's called True Anomaly. There's the name of the brewery company. The guys that actually started True Anomaly actually all worked at NASA. In fact, my wife all actually co-opted with them and actually knows everybody. But they got a brewery down there, and this one is the super heavy. Everything has a space theme with them. So True Anomaly is a space thing too. It sounds like an oxymoron. It's not. It's actually a space thing. So this is the super heavy after the SpaceX shuttle. So there you go on the back. So there's the super heavy, right? And this is, as you can see, a barley wine. Now either love barley wine or you're not a huge fan of it. I love barley wine. This is one of the first craft beer styles I actually started with, which is kind of interesting. But it's reason for you people not familiar. The reason it's called a barley wine is because it is a beer, so that's where the barley comes from. But it has the ABV of a wine. Check out that ABV right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, 15.7%. That's why it's called barley wine. All right, so let's crack this bad boy. Ooh, I just spilled it all over myself. Now, just to let you know, I have not had this one, as I lick it off my fingers, but that's the kind of no way to do it. Got my St. Earl's Glass 25th anniversary edition. All right, and so let's, there we go. We'll pour that in there. Look at that, baby. Liquid gold, baby. All right, I'm gonna fit right to there. Put it down over here. I'm gonna let that kind of work its magic. All right, and I gotta save a little bit for my wife to taste on this too. All right, and put that back in there. Keep it cold in the cooler. Okay, there you go. And take another drag here. All right, so let's see how. Cheers, everybody! Happy Monday. There we go. Ooh. Oh boy, howdy! That's pretty good. That is pretty tasty. Mm. Mm. Man, barley wine is life. That is some good. Whew, that's some good stuff right there. It's also dangerous. Once again, 15.7%. It's almost 16% by volume. So yeah, a couple of those, and you're feeling pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Did I say it was Monday? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, June the 6th, on my back porch. I swear I haven't been drinking that yet. All right. Anyway, big news broke this morning. It's let me pause. I got to pause for a second. All right, I had to respond to a text there, so I just put it on pause for a second. But anyway, big news today coming out of the golf world. Apparently, the PGA, the DP Tour, which is basically, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the European Tour. If I'm not mistaken, let me Google DP Tour because the DP World Tour, because I think it's basically like the European Tour. It's basically like a European tour. There's the Scottish Open and okay. Is basically what it is. Okay, so the DP Tour is basically is the European Tour. Okay, I think DP is just a sponsor, but it's basically the European Tour for the PGA. So the DP Tour, the PGA, and LIV apparently are going to merge here. And let me see. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let me bring up the story. I saw the story today. Let me pull up. Oh, Espen, I'm a little behind here. Um, yeah, and here's a video from ESPN. I didn't watch it though, but it says complete and utter shock was the player fallout from the PGA LIV merger. I haven't seen that one yet, and hold on, I got the link. Stupid. Here we go. So let me just say, kind of tell you what this ESPN article says. So the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and LIV Golf League, which have been embroiled. This is by Mark Schallbach, by the way, ESPN senior writer. This, like I said, came down this morning. PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and LIV Golf League, which have been embroiled in a bitter legal battle for more than a year, have agreed to unify and move forward in a larger commercial business, the circuits announced Tuesday. The tours called the stunning development, quote, a landmark agreement on a global scale, end quote. This is from PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan. There's been a lot of tension in our sport over the last couple of years. What we're talking about today is coming together to unify the game of golf and to do so under one umbrella. We've recognized that together we can have a far greater impact on this game than we can working apart. The game of golf is better for what we've done here today. All right, that's what PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan said. And this is back to the article, the landmark deal between the tours. Let's see, between the tours was reached without knowledge of many PGA Tour members and LIV players and agents. One PGA Tour player reached by ESPN on Tuesday said, quote, no fucking way. All right. A golf agent whose represents a couple of high-profile LIV players told ESPN that he was unaware of the merger. Quote, you just made my heart skip a few beats, the agent said before the deal was officially announced. Apparently, Colin Morikawa today on Twitter, of course, Colin Morikawa, PGA Tour, on the PGA Tour said on his Twitter account said, I love finding out morning news on Twitter, and everyone thought yesterday was the longest day in golf. I think that was for the qualifiers for the U.S. Open. So if you're not a golf fan, the longest day in golf is when you qualify for the U.S. Open. Those are when all the U.S. qualifiers are taking place, and they call it the longest day in golf. But anyway, so apparently that was yesterday. But but that's what Colin Morikawa said. Beng Hoon An said, I'm guessing the LIV teams were struggling to get sponsors, and PGA Tour couldn't turn down the money. Win-win for both tours, but it's a big loss for who defended the tour over last 2 years. Let's see. Phil Mickelson on Twitter, quote, awesome day today with a happy face emoji. In a statement, the circuit said the parties have signed an agreement that combines LIV golf related commercial business and rights and businesses and rights to the PGA Tour and DP World Tour into a new collectively owned for-profit entity to ensure that all stakeholders benefit from a model that delivers maximum excitement and competition among the game's best player. The circuits have said the agreement ends all pending litigation between the parties. Let's see. And then it says the three tours, so they will work, quote, cooperatively and in good faith to establish a fair and objective process for any players who desire to reapply for membership with the PGA Tour or DP World Tour following the completion of the 2023 season. After 2 years of disruption and distraction, this is a historic day for the game we all know and love, Monahan said once he was the PGA commissioner, said in the statement. This transformational partnership recognizes the immeasurable strength of the PGA Tour's history, legacy, and pro-competitive model and combines it with the DP World Tour and LIV, including the team golf concept, to create an organization that will benefit golf players, commercial and charitable partners, and fans. All right, Monahan scheduled a players meeting for 4 p.m. Eastern time today in Toronto, so we're a couple hours away from that. As I sit here on the Eastern time zone, so it's 1:05 here. A player told ESPN that the PGA Tour's advisory committee met with the United States Golf Association members in Columbus, Ohio on Sunday. Monahan and other tour execs attended the meeting as well, but there was no discussion about a potential merger with LIV Golf. So apparently all this was kept on the hush, the down low, the DL, as the kids say. In a memo to PGA Tour members Tuesday, a copy of which was obtained by ESPN, Monahan wrote that in addition to making the financial investment in the new entity, LIV would become a premier corporate sponsor of the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and other international tours. Monahan wrote that with the LIV Tour, they're owned by a company, PIF, but I'll just call it LIV just to keep all the confusion down. We'll make investments to, quote, build an even stronger and more robust commercial business together. It's committed to a significant financial support toward causes that positively impact the game on a global basis. Monahan wrote that the PGA Tour will evaluate how, quote, best to integrate team golf into the professional game. Now, we'll get into all the politics of it here in a second, but if you don't know, if you're not familiar with LIV, they do a team golf thing. So you actually have teams. I believe it's 4 golfers, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I haven't caught a lot of LIV, to be completely honest with you. But you'll have, like, let's say Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and Cam Smith. Okay, we'll be in a team, and so basically you have like a team, and then you have the individual on top of it. Now, I mean, we can kind of talk about that for a second, because here's the thing, like, I mean, golf's an individual sport, all right, and has been for forever. LIV kind of brought this concept of these teams, all right, these golf teams, as if you will. Shit, nope, there it goes. Oh, I guess got stuck for a second. But LIV brought this idea of these teams. That was kind of their part of their what made LIV unique. Is this team play, right? Apparently the PGA wants to bring or integrate this idea of team golf into the professional game. Really, the only time you play in teams on the PGA Tour is basically the Ryder Cup, all right, which is England versus the United States, and then you have, or I should say, Great Britain or everybody else basically, against the United States, and of course you play match play and stuff like that, and then you get points and stuff. But that's really the only team concept that they have now. I could see doing more team events. For certain events, maybe doing it kind of like the majors. Maybe you only have like 4 team events a year. Have a Ryder Cup or Ryder Cup-esque thing, but I think that's where I don't know how PGA folks feel about this. Because if you're a supporter of the PGA, this whole idea of a team golf is kind of really, really unique. It's just, I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words, to be completely honest with you. But it says. He said LIV Golf would complete its 2023 schedule, which resumes later this month in Spain. Quote, they were going down their path, we were going down ours, and after a lot of introspection, you realize that all this tension in the game is not a good thing. Monahan said in a phone interview with the Associated Press. Another PGA Tour member, reached by ESPN on Tuesday, questioned why the merger needed to happen when, in his opinion, the PGA was beating the LIV Golf on the course and in the courts. And that's a good point right there. Come on. Repause. Let me read the light. We'll be back. All right. And, all right, so let me unpause here. And that's a really good point by that PGA Tour member, because, I mean, obviously the PGA Tour is its own thing. Therefore, they could ban people from, if they played on LIV, you could ban them, things like that. It depends on what they were working. And then, as far as I know, nobody was watching LIV Golf. The ratings were horrible. Like, how longer could the Saudis kept putting literally billions of dollars? I think they spent like $2 billion on this, on LIV, and not get anything back in return from sponsors and things like that. I think the PGA would have just simply put it out of business. So that's a really good point. Was and this is from another PGA Tour player by speaking on condition of anonymity, but said, quote, "It's insanity. The LIV Tour was dead in the water. It wasn't working. Now you're throwing them a life jacket? Is this the moral of the story, to just always take the money?" Another good point. I mean, the thing about it is, like I said, ironically enough, the LIV kind of did what Phil Mickelson wanted it to do, which was make the PGA better and make it, the purses got bigger. There was more dates. You had the players meeting with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy and all the other guys that came, and the PGA got better. It kind of did what it is, and now basically you're saying that, and you're beating your competitor, and now, it's one thing to go like, WWE and buy out your competition when WCW went down, but it's another. But that would have been like, Vince McMahon kicking Eric Bischoff's ass in the Monday Night Wars, and then being like, "Oh, let's merge together." All right, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So I'm kind of at a loss for this one. Let's see. And there's all the suits. Still to be determined how players such as Brooks Koepka and Dr. Johnson, who defected to LIV for nine-figure bonuses, can rejoin the PGA Tour for this year. So Monahan said the reinstatement of the PGA Tour members who had defected to LIV Golf a, quote, complicated endeavor and one that will be guided by established PGA Tour rules and regulation. Let's see. Board of Directors will see everything. Blah, blah, blah. PGA Tour will remain tax exempt. Let's see. Director of the chief executive of the DP World Tour, Keith Pelley, said, quote, "This is a momentous day. We're delighted to be able to not only reignite our relationship with the PIF, which is LIV, but also have the opportunity to build our current strategic alliance partnership with the PGA. Together we will be stronger than ever and well positioned to bring the game to all the corners of the globe." And then it says the PIF have dumped more than $2 billion into LIV Golf Enterprises, which critics have claimed is a form of sports washing to repair the Saudi monarch's image of human rights violation. Monahan said, quote, "I understand the criticism. For me, you take the information you have at the time and make decisions in the best interest. Things have changed. This was the right time to have this conversation." Having had some time to kind of digest this, I'm completely honest with you, I think it's kind of bullshit. And it is going to be very interesting to see how the PGA tours, how the PGA, how the PGA Tour, in fact, is going to, or the players, the PGA players, are going to respond to this, because a lot of them, of course, had to make a decision. Am I going to take the money and take the Saudis' money, which a lot of people consider blood money? All right, not to get too much in politics. This is a sports show after all. All right, but of course, the Saudis have a very bad human rights resume, as it were, and have not done very well. I mean, women were just allowed to drive over there for a few years ago, for crying out loud. All right, and I mean, you can get into other stuff with it too. But the fact of the matter, so. And so there was a lot of that. I mean, hell, even Phil Mickelson had his comments. I mean, they've killed journalists and everything else you can think of. And so, you can go down that whole wormhole of, is this sports washing, and are they trying to make themselves look better with this? Uh, but you had people that were, number one, wanted to show their loyalty to the PGA Tour, that stood. Number two, had morals, and stood up to them. And then, of course, you had the guys that were like, fuck it, I'm going to take the money. And hell, look, I'm a capitalist. I'm pro capitalism. If if your conscience is clear and you have no issue taking money from the Saudis, and it's going to set you up for life. All right. Now, some of these guys, were kind of borderline PGA guys. It kind of made sense for them to go over there. They're playing. And then also, too, on top of it, I think even Dustin Johnson said this, even, he's one of the best players in the world. He's an asshole, but he's one of the best players in the world. Well, I can make more money and play less dates. Why am I going to do that? You saw that in wrestling with WCW. All right, that's why everybody was jumping ship from WWE to over the WCW back in the day, back in the mid to late '90s, because they got more money and they had to work less. If you offered anybody, hey, we're going to pay you more money and you get to work less, fuck yeah, you're going to take that fucking deal. I mean, come on, all right. So I don't blame them for doing it. Like I said, you can argue the morality of it, uh, and you got a fucking point. All right, I'm not saying you don't, but if I was a borderline PGA player and making, you know, now granted these guys are still millionaires, but if if you're barely holding onto your tour card, or you've made a few $100,000 in the year, and then there comes the side say, well, we're gonna give you a $10 million signing bonus, and this, that, and the other. I understand it. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say I understand it, right? And then you can, like I said, you can agree with it, you can disagree with it. I get that part of it, but Jesus, but now for the PGA Tour, after all of this, and the players standing by them for them to do this, it's a little shitty, man. It's and I got no. I think this is unprecedented. I don't think I have any examples, with this. This is not a AFC, AFL, NFL merger or anything like that, But I mean, that would be the closest thing that I would have to it. But that'd be like back in the '60s, though, that the NFL would be crushing, the AFL, or beating them and saying, well, if you play in the AFL, you can't play in the NFL, and all that kind of stuff. And then in 1970, saying, well, let's merge. It just makes sense, you know. And and quite to be quite honest with you, it fucking doesn't make any fucking sense. So there's a video on ESPN if you want to check it out. It's entitled "Complete and Utter Shock: What is the player fallout from the PGA LIV merger?" Posted a couple hours ago. It looks like it's about a minute 20. I haven't watched it yet. I will here in a second. But that's kind of it with that. I mean, just that is kind of it's kind of mind boggling. It's just I really can't fucking believe it. That's it. All right. Well, we got about 10 minutes left here after all of that. Was there an F1 race this week? Were they in Spain? I know they were in Spain. Did they race this week? Let's see. Practice. Qualifying. Oop, hold on. Yep. Guess who won? Guess who won? Just take a guess. Take a guess who won. It was Verstappen. Sergio Perez finished fourth. So, like I said, I don't know, man. I think F1's done already. It's just Verstappen's just going to run them the fuck away with that thing. That's all there fucking is to it. Red Bull's going to fucking run away with it. So there you go. Speaking of fucking running away with shit, uh, damn Stanley Cup Finals, man. I haven't seen any of the games yet, but I was kind of keeping my eye on the first game because it was 2-2 going into the third period, and in the third period, the Golden Knights scored 3 fucking goals, won that game 5-2, and then last night, which is an utter and complete fucking beatdown, the Golden Knights won 7-2, and so this series might be over with already, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday they play again Thursday. They play in Florida. I don't know if this is going to be a sweep. I think maybe the Panthers get one, but it's looking like Golden Knights in like 4 or 5 right now. I mean, holy fuck. It's just been a fucking beatdown. So because it's a beatdown so far, if it gets closer, we'll discuss it more, but Jesus Christ, as far as that goes. We got, NCAA softball. Let's see, College World Championship is going to be Oklahoma and Florida State. Florida State, the 3 seed. Oklahoma's the 1 seed. And Oklahoma, I don't think's lost in like 2 fucking years. They've won like 50 fucking straight games, 54 games, something like that. They were just a fucking juggernaut of women's softball. They are going for their three-peat on the net for the national championship. So that's how dominant that the Sooner women have been in softball. They're basically the UConn basketball equivalent to fucking softball. Just nobody can fucking beat them, and they're just, back in the day where UConn was winning the fucking women's Final Four every goddamn year. Uh, it's kind of what Oklahoma's doing in softball right now. It's crazy. And then let's see, and then we got the super regional starting for NCAA baseball. They don't start till Friday. So we got Duke, Virginia, TCU, Indiana State, South Florida, Florida, Oral Roberts, and Oregon. Let's see, we got Alabama, Wake Forest. Let's see, no, Texas is playing Stanford, so A&M lost that one. Texas unranked. Stanford is number 8 in that one. So there's some other teams. Well, kind of wins, I guess, out of the World Series there. So as far as that goes, national championship for the women starts tomorrow, 7 o'clock, ESPN. Best of 3 series for that. And then NBA, once again, not really much to speak of on Thursday because the Nuggets blew the fucking. I mean, they just killed the Heat. I mean, the score was closer. I mean, it was 11-point victory, 104-93. But the Nuggets just absolutely fucking dominated that game. They just blew the doors off of Miami. As far as that one goes. Now, I did catch a little bit of the game on Sunday, and the basically what happened is the Miami just fucking killed Denver in the fourth quarter because the Nuggets had a pretty good lead going into halftime because the Nuggets outscored the Heat 34-25 in the second quarter. And then third quarter was close. Nuggets won at 26-24, but then you get to the fourth quarter, and the Heat outscored the Nuggets 36-25 in the third quarter to win 111-108. And to come back and win that game. So that series is now tied. Basically, I mean, long story short, Denver did not play good defense in that game, and that's basically what cost them that game was their lack of defense. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or any other reasons behind it. It was just bad defense. They left a lot of Miami shooters wide ass open. I think Miami was over 50% from 3-point range. Let's see. Let's go to the box score here. And yeah, Miami was 48.6, almost 50%. They were 48.6% from 3-point range, which is fantastic. And then, of course, that's not going to happen every time, but damn, that was that's a hell of a shooting percentage there. And so, yeah, like I said, the Denver just going to go. This series might be a closer series. We'll see if Denver gets their shit together for Game 3. And which isn't till fucking Wednesday. They get Monday and Tuesday off. I do not understand having these two games. I know they do it for fucking TV, so they can have, but I just, no. I just don't understand why the 2 days. Like, I understand they're trying to set up for days of the week and stuff like that, but it just makes no sense because you kind of stop caring about it because it's just like, oh, you got game 1 and then you got to wait 2 games for game 2, and then you got to wait 2 days for game 3, then you got to wait 2, like, it's just fucking, like, I know why they do it. It's TV, it's money, it's ratings, but it's stupid. All right, just play every other day. Just play every other fucking day. It's not that hard. And maybe if you want to take 2 days off for a travel day, I get it. That I can kind of understand, but just. Come on, NBA. Come on, we're sick and tired of fucking, with this fucking bullshit. Like, just fucking play every goddamn day. I don't fucking get it. So we'll kind of see what happens. Kind of see what happens with that. But yeah, like I said, it might be a good series. But Heat had a chance to tie the game, and with a 3, and didn't hit it. Also, too, it kind of brings you to something, too. The Heat did not take. They had 2 timeouts left. And they got the ball back. There was plenty of time on the clock. I mean, it wasn't like there was like 5 seconds left or anything like that. All right? I mean, they had plenty of time. They had plenty of time to bring, they had, 15, 20 seconds left, something like that. So, I mean, it's plenty of time to bring the play up, bring the ball up the floor, get a set play going. But you can't take your timeouts with you. I mean, there's some, I mean, I know, I mean, I remember Mike Holmgren in the Super Bowl when he was with Seattle playing against Pittsburgh, didn't take a timeout at the end of the half. It's like you've got the time, take the fucking timeout, man. Like, get a, and you still got 1 left, even if you can't inbound it, right? And I just don't understand not taking a timeout, and drawing something up and being like, unless you're trying to catch them off guard. and not get their defense set, which that I get that. I mean, you can argue that, and I can kind of see that. That that does make sense to me. But I mean, if I got two timeout, I'm taking a fucking timeout. I mean, that's just me though. I mean, and maybe that's just a fucking coaching difference or something, but that's just kind of what it is as far as I'm concerned. But I still understand. So, like I said, got to wait till fucking Wednesday, which of course is tomorrow. But still, I mean, they played Sunday, and we got to wait till fucking tomorrow. That's just stupid. Anyway, so all right, ladies and gentlemen, talk to you next week at JJ Sports Show 63 at JJ Sports Show 63. All right, talk to you next week.